Hi, I'm Captain Steve Chaconis, and welcome to the National Bass Fishing Show. I love to drop shot, been doing it for a long time now. Just about everybody out there is drop shotting in one form or another. What I like to use for drop shot is I like to use braided line. I use Gamma Torque braid. I use the 10-pound test. I find that 10-pound test is very, very thin. It casts a mile. It stays down pretty good for you in windy conditions. Don't have to use a real heavy weight. And then I'll start off with 10-pound test edge fluorocarbon. The 10-pound test, then I'll go to 8, then I'll go to 6. 10-pound test is usually a good place to start. It's plenty strong. And then once I have that, I can modify down if I think I need to go with a lighter or thinner diameter line. Now, we're going to talk about leaders today. And we're not talking about that leader that I talked about, the edge attached to that Gamma Torque braid. I'm going to talk about the leader that is the distance between your hook and your weight, because that varies depending on conditions. But now that we're on the topic, the distance between my braided line and how long that leader is, I go 5 inches from the tip of the rod. I bring that leader down to the reel handle. That's where I make my cut. And that's where I start tying my rig. The reason I do that is because if I'm pitching, that knot is 5 inches from the tip of the rod and won't get stuck in the guides. If I reel it all the way in for a cast, that knot is just ahead of the reel, so it doesn't get into the reel and cause a snag that way. So 5 inches from the tip of the rod down to your reel handle, that's how long I make that leader. Now, the other leader, well, let's get a drop shot tied up for you. I'm going to leave probably about 2 to 3 feet of line. I'm going to tie a Palomar knot. The way I start a Palomar knot is I double the line, and I make it a little bit smaller than that. I'll pinch it, and I'll pass it in through the side of the hook without the point. So this is the side of the hook with the point. This is the side of the hook without the point. I'm going to go ahead and put this through, and once I do that, then I'm going to tie an overhand knot. So I'm just going to tie this basically overhand knot. I'm going to take the hook, make this a little bit smaller, take the hook, put it in through, kind of pull it a little bit, make sure that loop goes over the top, and I'm going to have to wet this line, pull the tag in, pull the main line, and now we've got most of our drop shot knot tied. That's the Palomar. But the rest of the drop shot knot is where we're going to take the tag in, that's this end here, and we're going to put it in through the side of the hook with the point. And that way it'll make your hook stand up for you. And so when you go to set the hook, you're going to have your hook in an upright position. Okay. So this is what your knot looks like after you've passed it through. This is the rod end. This is, let's see here. That's the rod end. And that's your weight end. Now, with the weight, I like to use a Water Gremlin bull shot weight. It's a pretty cool weight. You see it has a split right here, kind of like a split shot, but if you look at it, it's kind of bullet shaped. Well, I put my line in through here, and when I'm first starting off, I'm going to put it near the bottom of my leader line, okay? So I'll put it there, and I'm going to go ahead and pinch it with some pliers. Don't use your teeth. Your dentist will hate you. He'll hate me, and we don't like dentists to be mad. So now I've got this really cool bullet-shaped split shot on there. Since I'm using braid, I don't have to worry about line twist. Now, if I want to make that weight so it'll come off and I won't lose my whole rig, but I don't want it to come off too easy, so I'm going to tie an overhand knot, just a regular little overhand knot, put it here on the bottom of below that weight, slide the weight down to it, and now my weight won't come off quite so easy. So I've got a knot there. So I've got about a 2 foot leader. We'll back up for you so you can see this, 2.5, almost 3 foot leader. And that can be shortened now. I start off with that and I'll go shorter. Now, let's talk about the conditions. You either have warm water, cold water, clear water, or muddy water. So it's either warm or it's cold or it's clear or it's muddy. Now, if the water's clear, I want a longer leader because fish can see it from further away and they're going to come. So the further my bait is off the bottom, then more likely they're going to come chase it from far away. So that's why I start off with this really long leader. I start off with that. If I don't get bites, then I can shorten it. all I have to do to shorten it is to grab that tag end right here, slide it up a little bit, tie another knot, cut the tag end off, and now I've shortened it. I can shorten it all day long if I want. I can make it really short. You can see here, we've got, I don't know, what is that? A few inches? Yeah, that's almost 10 inches. Or I could put it real close. So that's what I do in clear water. If the water's muddy, I start off with it, again, maybe a little bit shorter. I'm gonna go about 1 foot, because I think that's what I'll do in muddy water. And if I don't get bites, then I slide the weight up further, because in muddy water, fish can't see the bait and they can't see as far. So they're not gonna move far from cover. They're not gonna be out there chasing. So you wanna kind of keep it close to the bottom, not make them have to go too far. Try to really I like pitching this one into the cover, and I really feel the cover. If the water's warm, chances are that the fish are going to be more active. If the water's cold, they're not going to be as active. So in warmer water, we could go with a longer leader. And in the colder water, we go with a shorter leader. So if you get cold and muddy, you want the leader real short. You get clear and warm, you could go with a longer leader. I hope that straightened things out for you on the length of your drop shot leader. Try it. Put some thought into it. Don't go out there and say, I always have 2 feet. I always do. Don't do that. Remember, these fish sometimes the mood changes, and it's all about water clarity and water temperature. And you can just find that mood of that fish, because a drop shot will work just about all the time. I'm Captain Steve Chaconas. Thanks for watching. Please tell your friends about us and subscribe to my fishing channel. If you would like me to discuss a topic, send me an email at nationalbass.com.